Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Wednesday, August 14th, 2019. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We're seeing selling pressure here in pre-market trading. A complete reversal after yesterday's rally here on news that the U.S. would delay tariffs on China from September to mid-December. That sparked a very vigorous rally here in the opening hour of the day. Price then traded sideways throughout the rest of the session at highs, and in overnight trading we've seen nothing but selling pressure now in overnight and pre-market trading here heading into the RTH Open. Right now we do have a very clear range that is developed with basically seeing one day up, one day down, one day up, one day down type of trading behavior. This type of market behavior here is happening below the 2960 level. 2960 again is the level where price broke down and dropped into the 2770s, followed by a recent rally here, and now we're holding still below that zone. Again, any failure to get back above the 2960s suggests that we could be headed for at least a retest of the recent low, if not a full-on break of that low. So we'll have to continue to watch the 2860 zone. Right now we're trading between those two levels, and at least in the near term here we are seeing selling pressure here on a daytime frame basis. It wouldn't surprise here if we continue to hold near these lows and perhaps build a range down here somewhere between 2870 and 2900. If we take a look at the NQ, you'll notice very similar price action here. Again, the previous session, both of those markets rallied above the previous week's high price and are now rejecting the previous week's highs. This market rallied right up until it got just below the 7800 level. 7800 is the key level here, very similar to that 2960 in the ES where we built out a range. Above that level, failed and dropped into the 7200s, and then from there bounced back into it. So getting to that point right there, again, very important, because if price cannot reestablish acceptance back above 7800, we likely trade back down, perhaps to retest the low, if not take it out completely. At the moment we are trading a range between 7800 and about 7500. Again, another kind of a one day up and down, back and forth type of trading behavior here. We've seen selling pressure begin in overnight trading here. That's kind of persisted throughout the morning, and we may see, after that type of elongated trading behavior, we may see a little bit more weakness here, followed by some sort of trading range that develops at the lows. Overall, again, we're keeping an eye on that 7800 level. That's the key level there. If price can finally break through 7800, perhaps there's a quick rally back toward new highs. Otherwise, a failure to get above that zone would suggest more weakness ahead. Alright, let's take a look now at crude oil. Crude oil also seeing very similar price action here to the equity futures. We had a tremendous rally in the previous session on the tariff news, followed by a tremendous pullback here in pre-market trading, basically during the same period of time here. Really, this thing dropped off over the last couple of hours. We are now seeing an inside day after yesterday's high range day, but for the most part we're sitting right at the 55 level yet again. That's such an important level in this market. You can definitely tell it's a CLVN in the chart, and anytime price trades it's either bouncing off of it or going through that level. And so again, this is exactly what we're seeing here. Price coming down into 55s, the low today 54.90, and bouncing. Again, we could begin to see some sort of range bound trading activity above 55s here. Any failure to hold 55 again could rotate this thing back down, but at the moment this market did hit the upper trend line here. We have an upper trend line that's come across these highs, and that trend line also extends back even further. If you look back this way, very clear trend line that's been in play, and at some point here, if price can get through the 58s, that may break the trend line and spark a more vigorous move higher. Otherwise, right now that upper trend line is showing quite a bit of resistance here, and we could continue to see more of a downtrending price action until that trend line is taken out. Alright, let's take a look at lastly at gold futures. Again, gold has been extremely bullish here. In the previous session, what we saw was a high range day, 50 plus points of range here, when the market's been averaging about 20 something points. After yesterday's range, The 10-day average is now 30.6 points. The 5-day average is 32.6 points. And right now we're at 24.6 points of overnight range. We have an inside day developing right around the midpoint of the previous session. The first test below the 8-period average here was defended straight away, and that's after the early rejection at 1546. This market remains bullish here. Again, we have this compression pattern which has seen expansion to the upside. So as long as price remains above the top of that compression pattern, 1460, more upside is likely ahead. We talked about yesterday in the pre-market report that anything in the 1480s and 1460 could both be buying opportunities. Price dropped into about 1489 before bouncing yesterday, and again continues to see strength overall. So while this market remains mostly range bound at these highs, again, any pullback still remains a buying opportunity for a likely continuation higher. All right, that's it for now. We'll see how this develops the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.